Diabetes Maternity Program Antenatal class. Today we're speaking with Sister Talia, who will be speaking to us about diabetes. Welcome, Sister Talia.
Hi, everyone. Yes, thank you so much. So today we'll be speaking about a particular type of diabetes, and that's gestational diabetes. So why do we call it that? So according to Haliaden and Bassa, in a study, they broke it down for us. So diabetic during pregnancy, we call it gestation. So pregnancy is gestation. And then diabetes is the breakdown of glucose. So it basically means if you do hear this buzzword or a doctor has mentioned it to you, it's going to be tested your sugars for diabetes or gestational diabetes. It basically means they're testing your glucose or your tolerance to glucose in the body. So what are the symptoms? So few of the symptoms that's been mentioned by moms is frequent urination, nausea, thirst, and tiredness. So this is also the symptom of pregnancy. So it's very difficult to differentiate it. That's why we need to go every time to our antenatal visits as per our schedule with our doctors. And in that schedule, doctor will advise us to give a urine sample. So I always get asked by moms, why are they always taking my urine? Exactly for this reason. So by week 24, this is when this diagnosis actually creeps up. And that is why we test it with every visit, even from the early days of pregnancy. So we will test the urine first. We may find traces of glucose or ketones, as we call it. And those things will tell us we need to maybe do further investigation. So our next thing would be blood tests. So it sounds very eerie, but you normally get an appointment with your pathologist. Doctor will give you the paper and you will go in. It's usually early morning and you fasted the night before, which means from 10 o'clock the evening, you stopped eating anything, okay? So the morning you'll go in early, they'll do your first blood, and then they'll give you quite a mixture of the sweet syrup to drink. It will be almost like sugar water, basically. And what do they want to test? They want to see what's your sugar like without having anything in your body, so without consuming any glucose, because whatever we eat gets converted to glucose and it gets broken down by our bodies. And then secondly, they want to check, once you've had the glucose in, how does your body kind of process it and how much is left? And that is what gives us a reading. And that reading is what doctor measures to be able to diagnose gestational diabetes. So what do I do if I'm diagnosed? So a lot of moms will call and they'll say that, you know what, doctor said I have this and he says I'm a high risk sister. Now, what does that mean? So high risk means we're watching you closely. Okay, it's not always something bad because it means that we are not just assuming everything is going smoothly. We are keeping special tabs on special parts of the body, whether it be high blood pressure, but in this case, we will monitor the diabetes. We'll monitor your sugars. So what does it mean? First of all, great news is that it's very common and that with good diet, so we'll always refer you to a dietitian. And secondly, taking medication. So there will always be medication involved. So not all moms with gestational diabetes get placed on medication, but some do. And some will get placed on an injectable one, and some may be placed on tablets to drink every day. But that's completely up to what our reading was and how we treated. So a lot of moms will say medication is bad for my baby, so I will not take the medicine, but you have to, because if it's left untreated, that's when diabetes can be a big risk to mommy and baby. What risk is it? So a diabetic baby, we have found, and a lot of times we've seen this in our wards as well, that it may be a very big baby. So now we need to start looking at your plan for delivery, whether you're going to be giving delivery in a hospital or with your doula at home or your midwife at home. We need to see that the baby is not too large to give normal delivery. So a lot of times diabetic babas tend to be quite large. So we normally would do a cesarean. Low blood sugar, that's the other part. So everybody thinks it's because I've been drinking liters and liters of Coke. It's not true. You can also get very low blood sugar. That is a hypo-diabetic. And a hyper means too much sugar again. That's the high readings. Low readings is hypo. And the other thing that it can do, I mean, if your blood sugar dips, you can go in a coma. you can just collapse as well, which is quite dangerous for a pregnant mom and baby. And then it also puts you at risk for other conditions such as preeclampsia, which I've mentioned in a previous video, which is the high blood pressure in pregnancy, again, those related conditions. So how do we manage? So briefly earlier, I spoke about some management such as diet, medication. So firstly, we need to go for our checkups. If doctor advises or the clinician, more tests, please go ahead. There's a reason for it. They are quite conservative with testing. So we don't really want to be giving moms all different types of testings. But if they do mention it to you, there is a reason behind it. So what do? Do I monitor my blood sugar at home? Not always. So some moms will be placed, as in the picture, the first picture we had in the slide with the mom pricking a finger and checking her blood sugar levels. Some moms do need to do that, and doctor will advise accordingly. Healthy eating and exercise. So this does not mean I must stop eating sugars or things that has glucose in, like carbs get converted to glucose, but it actually means frequent eating. So frequently small healthy meals that will sustain your blood sugar. So what will sustain my blood sugar? So when we say healthy fruit and vegetables, normally a diabetic, we limit 2 fruits per day. There's a reason for that. Fruits are high in sugar. So whether your blood sugar goes low, remember, if it goes low, we don't want to give you an influx of sugars and then suddenly you dip. So we want to maintain. So it's a plateau we want to keep of glucose in your body. Brown bread releases slower glucose and glycogen and all those things. So it will give you a steady wave of sugar release and you won't be crashing or skyrocketing in the air because of the sugar intake. Vegetables are very important. Again, making things that's natural. Natural, like pumpkin, is very sweet and natural on its own. You don't actually need to add sugar. And those are all healthy food choices. Doctor would refer you to a dietitian, which is great because they sit and they chat to you about what you need to eat. What do you usually eat? Because we don't want to be changing your diets completely and bringing the strangest things in your diet that you would never eat. So it's very nice to sit with the dietitian, and doctor will normally see where is it needed. We avoid junk food. So I do know the cravings hit. If that cravings hit, moderation is key. Okay, so we won't be having a large soda, a large Coke, for instance, and have another ice cream with it. We will need to monitor it because we know as our sugar goes up, it can shoot down, and we don't want that inconsistency. We want to keep that plateau, that level going. And then eat smaller meals, as I mentioned earlier, more often. The last point is schedule your feedings that you're going to be eating. A lot of moms ends up with hypo glucose that goes in a hypo or a low dip because they don't eat. They are busy at work because a lot of moms are still working during pregnancy. So you're busy in the morning, mid-afternoon, you're in a meeting and you just plummet because you've not eaten anything. So please schedule, use your cell phone. I always say use devices as our tools and just make little reminders for yourself to eat your snack now, like healthy snacks, and keep that in your little Tupperware jars. Is very good to keep it in, and you just keep on snacking on those things. So references is available. It was from the Diet and Nutrition and Food Science that I got it. And it's just management. So if you want to read up and just see about it, and you're more than welcome to also pop us some questions if you need any assistance with this. So this is quite a manageable condition. If you get the diagnosis or doctor mentions it to you that they are checking it, or they maybe you need to limit certain things, just listen to this again, even if you want to listen to the video slowly, because in there you can hear it is manageable and it is treatable.